Hey, welcome everybody. This is CP Cards and Dice. Welcome to another presentation of our 1976 Inside Pitch Yankee replay. This is game 50, I believe, and it's going to be Rudy May facing Frank Tanana here at the stadium in the Bronx. And leading it off for the California Angels will be the ex-Yankee Bobby Bonds. He's going to be in right field, followed by Jerry Remy at second base. The third place batter is Ron Jackson. Batting fourth is Tommy Davis, the DH. Bruce Bochy, or Bhakti, is the left fielder. I didn't really check for that pronunciation. Batting sixth is Bill Melton, the first baseman. The center fielder, Leroy Stanton, is seventh. Batting eighth is Dave Chalk, the shortstop. And batting ninth is Andy Etchebarren. We're about to get started. And as you can see, the crowd is into the game. And remember that this is your home for tutorials and strategy, player profiles, history, reviews, news, tips, tops, baseball cards, rants, unboxings, and so much more. Now, the way you play inside pitch is you roll a red die for the column, a white die for the row, and then the 20-sided die will give you additional information. You start off on the pitcher's card, and then that will direct you whether you go to the batter's card or whether you go to the ballpark card. We are in Yankee Stadium, 1976, American League. Batting average was .258. Slugging was .376. Now home runs were .118. So there's a lot of interaction between those three entities in our game. We're right about to get started. Rudy May checks in for the sign. Behind the plate is Thurman Munson. At third base is Greg Nettles. At shortstop, I believe it's Fred Stanley. Second baseman is Randolph. First baseman is Chambliss. That's around the horn. In the outfield, you're going to have the left fielder, Roy White, the center fielder, Mickey Rivers, and the right fielder is Otto Velez. Otto Velez ends up on the Toronto Blue Jays. He's picked up in the expansion draft for 1977. We're right about to get started, and let's play ball. This is your host, CP Cards and Dice. and I hope you enjoy the presentation. And Bobby Bonds, a right-handed batter, steps in the box. Rudy May sets and deals. And we're going to be rolling off Bobby Bonds' card, a 2-1, and that a 2-1 is line base hit left field, played on a hop by Roy White, who gets it in to Fred Stanley, keeping Bonds at first. So Bobby Bonds starts us off with a single. He's a threat to steal, so we're going to look at the 20-sided die, and that's not going to do it. So the next batter is Jerry Remy. That's a 2-6, and that's going to be a potential strikeout. And it is. Strike 3 rings him up. Rudy May with the nice curveball. 1 down. It's the pitch from Rudy May. It's a 2-6. That's a potential strikeout, but nope. So we're going to look off Ron Jackson's card, and that's a 6-1 and a 15 against a lefty, and that's caught by the left fielder. Nice play. White racing in and gets there for the out. 2 down. And it's Tommy Davis, the cleanup hitter. So Rudy May sets and deals. A 1-3, and that's a potential strikeout, but a 19 is way high. So we're looking off of Tommy Davis' card, a 2-3, and that is a line drive base hit left field. And this actually, it's through the hole into left field by the shortstop. And 5-4 left fielder is, I don't think he's got a number out there, left fielder. Oh yeah, he's a -1, so that's a, let's see if he advances here real quick. He's a 4 minus a 5, a 4. We're gonna roll. And that's a 4, so he makes it. Oh, wait, we actually didn't have to roll. So wait a second. Blah, 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 blah. Gotta do this fast. So it's a 4. So it's actually, yeah, he's going to hold at second base because of Roy White's arm. Going to hold at second base. Hold on, I'm having a hold on a second. So he's a 4, which makes him a 3 because it's, what is that? Why am I getting commercials on what is supposed to be straight up sound effects? You know what? We're gonna hold Bobby Bonds up here and move on with this. He's in scoring position right now, and it's going to be. Let's check. Let's pronounce his name real quick. Let's see. Our game, there's a short delay here. The grounds crew is picking up some debris off the field, so we're just waiting a couple of seconds. See if we can get this this pronunciation down while we wait. And I'm not getting any kind of results that I normally get here. Everything is kind of frozen up. Technology, so there's Let's go to the next one. Okay, it's boxy. There you go. All right, and let's get the crowd noise back into this and get going on this game because it's got off to a clunky start. Sometimes that happens when our brain is not ready to roll. Our body may be ready to roll, but our brain is not ready to roll. All right, so Bruce Bhakti's up with runners on first and second. There's 2 outs, top of the first. Let's start moving on this. That's going to be a 2-4, and we're going to roll. That's going to be a potential strikeout, and no. So we're going to roll off Bhakti's card, and a 3-6, and that's line center field. Racing in is Rivers, and he's there, and that retires the side. So the Angels leave 2, score none, and at the end of half an inning of play, it's no score. Mickey Rivers. And that's going to be a 4-4. And that's a potential strikeout. We're going to call that a 4. It's a -3. Strike 3, and Rivers is down swinging. Next batter, Roy White. 6-3. That's a potential strikeout, and it is. Curveball gets White. Back-to-back Ks for Frank Tanana. Thurman Munson next. 1-6, and against a righty, that's a star line. Going to roll star line 5, and that's ground ball shortstop. I believe it's Dave Chalk out there. Let me take a quick look, and it is. And he fires the first and throws out Munson. And that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down for the Yanks. We go to Bill Melton in the top of the second. Pitch from Rudy May. That's a snake eyes. That's a potential home run, and an 8 against a righty will not be. So we're going to roll off Melton's card, 1-3, and that is a ball that's popped up to the left side. Over there is Roy White makes the catch, 1 down. Next is Leroy Stanton. He goes into the expansion draft and ends up with the Seattle Mariners, 2-3, a potential strikeout, and it is not. So we're going to roll off Stanton's card. 3-6, and that's a fly ball right field. Over there is Velez, 2 down. Here's the pitch from Rudy May to Dave Chalk. Dave Chalk batted .217 and 438 at bats. That's a 3-4. That's a blank, so we're rolling off Chalk. And a 6-5, and that's a fly ball center field. Selling under it is Mick the Quick, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down. We go to bottom of the second. We're moving and grooving here. Sometimes we get a little stuck. 2-1. Range play. Chris Chambliss. And it's a 4-6 range play. 4-6 on a 5. 4-6 is a ground ball first base. And that's going to be through for a base hit. We're going to roll to see if it's a double or not. And it is not. It's going to be a single for Chambliss. Melton fails to get to the ball and goes into right field. So Chambliss is on at first with a single, and next is going to be Lou Piniella. It's a 5-1. That's against a righty. It's a blank. Snake eyes. That's a double star 5, which is a ground ball to the shortstop. So Piniella is 2. It's a 1 and a 2. So we're looking at a 2 for a double play, and there's no double play. It's going to be a fielder's choice. 6-4. Chambliss goes in hard and breaks up the double play. So Pinella's on at first now with 1 out. Here's the pitch from Frank Tanana. 6-1, that's a potential hit by pitch. +6, that's a 10. And nope. Greg Nettles card. 1-4, and that's a star line 3 ground ball second base. Let's roll on this because he's a 2-1. It's a 2 again, and we get it. It's a 4-6-3 double play, and we're out of the inning. So the Angels turn 4-6-3. Who is that? Remy to Chalk to Melton. And it's Andy Etchebarren. It's a 6-1 fly ball center field. 1 away. Rudy made a Bobby Bonds. Bobby Bonds, I believe, singled his first at bat. Line 1 to left. Here's the pitch. 5-5 is a range play. Oh, wait. 5-5 is a potential error on a grounder. Let's see if this will be a grounder. 4-2. And 4-2 is a pop-up. So no grounder there. And that's a pop-up to the shortstop. So that's 2 down. Pitch to Jerry Remy, 3-5. That's a potential strikeout, and a 5 won't be a strikeout because it's -3 at Yankee Stadium. So we roll off Remy's card, a 5-3. That's a ground ball hit hard to Chambliss, and Chambliss takes it himself, and that retires the side. Go down to the bottom of the third. Otto Velez leading it off. It's going to be Velez, Randolph, and Stanley. And that's a range play. And roll the range play 2-3, and that's a range play for the third baseman. We roll a 4. Third baseman is Jackson, and he makes a nice play. Backhand, long throw to first in time. Great play by Ron Jackson, who also plays second base, left field, and right field. 1 down. Willie Randolph is batting .276 in our replay. He's got 5 doubles, 3 triples, no home runs. That's a 4 again. Wow. Okay, so I guess that's a 4-3, and that's a potential strikeout. 4-3 is a potential strikeout. A 6, and nope, that's not going to do it. So we're rolling off Randolph's card, 5-1, and that is a ball that is hammered down the line into the corner, and that's going to be 2 for Randolph. A 1-out double for Willie Randolph off Frank Tanana. We're double checking that, and it is a double. Fred Stanley, the batter. Stanley's batting .173. Here's the pitch to Stanley. 1-4 is a potential strikeout, and it is strike 3. Rings up Stanley. Frank Tanana. Let's take a look at the box score here to get a quick idea of how many strikeouts Tanana has so far. He's got 3 strikeouts. Mickey Rivers now with 2 outs, and go-ahead run at second base in a 0-0 game. Here's the pitch. It's a 6-4, and that's a lefty blank. 6-4 lefty blank, and that's a 1-2, and that's a ground ball, and Rivers hits it the other way and past the diving Ron Jackson into left field. And that is almost a guaranteed score here, but we're going to check this out real quick. So it's an S5. All right. An S5. And he is going to be Randall. Hold on a second. Oh, I have my card here. Hold on a second. See if I can use my card. No, I cannot. That's only for defense. Okay. Oh, it's going to be – and he's not going to score. They're going to hold him up. They're going to hold him up at third base. So now it's Roy White with runners on first and third and 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Tanana. 3-1. That's a potential strikeout, and it is. Strike 3, and that retires the side. Big K for Frank Tanana with 2 runners on. We are still scoreless going to the top of the 4th. Rudy May is going to face Ron Jackson, Tommy Davis, and Bruce Bhakti. That's a 3-2. That's a blank. We look off Jackson's card. A 6-1 is a ball that's lined down the line, and that is caught by Roy White. Had him played perfectly. 1 down, Tommy Davis. That's a 3-6 range play. So a 3-6 range play off of the ballpark card. So let's do that. That's a 4-6, and it's a 1. So that's a great play by the right fielder in the corner. 2 down. And it's Bruce Bhakti. 6-6 is a blank. We roll off Bhakti's card, a 2-4, and that's line base hit center field. Frozen rope to center. That's played on a hop by Mickey Rivers. So Bhakti is on at first. He's not a threat to go, but we'll use that roll, and he does not. He's a 1 to get the jump. And then Rudy May is 0, so it'd still be a 1. So Bill Melton now. Bill Melton batted .208. California didn't have a very good team, 6-6. We go to Melton's card and a 5-2, and that's a ball that's driven in the gap, and that's going to split the outfield. There's one hop off the wall. Let's see if we get Bruce Bhakti to make it all the way home on this. So he's going to be double to center. Double to center is a 5. And he scores. So a 2-out double by Bill Melton after we were kind of basically, discrediting him as a hitter. He heard that and he responded with a 2-out double, and the Angels are up 1-0. Leroy Stanton up next. Let's just try to memorize he's a 2-runner just in case. All right, here's a pitch from Rudy May, 5-2. That's a blank. Off of Stanton, a 1-6, and that's line right field, and towards the line is Otto Velez, and reaches out and makes a nice running catch, and that retires the side. But the Angels pick up the first run of the game. They lead it by a score of 1-0. We go to the bottom of the fourth. It's going to be Munson, the captain, the Walrus, 1976 MVP. Alan Shaw, welcome. 1-0 Angels. Pitch from Frank Tanana, 6-1. Potential throwing error. Potential throwing error 6-3, and that is a 14. There's no way that our third baseman, so that's a ground ball hit to third, backhanded by Jackson. The throw is high, and stretching is Melton, and he is out at first. So Melton, with that stretch, saved an error for sure. Wow, okay. Let's do this again. All right, so 1 away, and it's Chris Chambliss. Chris Chambliss is batting .252 after he was batting .190 for most of the season. Really raised his average. It's going to be a 5-3. That's a potential K, and a 9, a plus, and that is a strike 3 on Chambliss. Fourth strikeout by Tanana. Lou Piniella is next. 2-2 is a blank, so we go on to Lou Piniella's card. A 2-2 is line ground ball and through the left side for a base hit. Piniella's on with a single. Greg Nettles. It's a 4-1. That's a strikeout of 17. Won't be. So we're rolling off Nettles' card. A 3-4, and that is high pop to left field. Under it is the left fielder for the Angels, Bruce Bhakti. Makes the catch, and that retires the side. We go to the top of the fifth. It's 1-0 Angels. It's Rudy May versus Frank Tanana. So we got a little pitching duel, or a big pitching duel going here at Yankee Stadium. 1976. Dave Chalk. 4-2. That's a blank, and we look off Chalk's card. A 4-5, and that's a ground ball. Hit it Nettles. Nettles up with it. Throws him out. 1 down. 1-6, and that's a potential strikeout, and it is strike 3 on Andy Etchebarren. So he was fooled by that curveball. Andy Etchebarren. All right, so Bobby Bonds is up. And that's a 3-2. That's a blank off of Bonds. And that's a slow roller between third base and the pitching mound. And Nettles grabs it barehanded. He better hurry, fires, and gets his man. Great play by Greg Nettles. Holy smokes. Just got Bobby Bonds, who was tearing down the line. And he still has speed. Been in the league for a while, but he still has the wheels. But Greg Nettles, with a great barehand play at third base, throws him out. And it's the bottom of the fifth. Did I say it was the sixth inning? I don't think I said it was the sixth inning. The bottom of the fifth, it's Otto Velez leading it off against Frank Tanana. That's a 6-1 potential hit by pitch, and it is not. And a 4-3 is a blah, blah, blah. A 4-3 is going to be a walk. And he's got a lot of walks, and that's an automatic walk on Otto Velez's card. So ball 4, full count. Ball 4 is high, and it's Willie Randolph. That's 3-3, and that's a double star line against a righty, and a star line that's going to be popped up right field over his Bonds. He's there, makes the catch. Frank Tanana to Fred Stanley. Pitch to Stanley is a 2-5, and against a righty, that's a potential walk, but we roll a 7. The walk against a lefty is ball 4. So 2 walks allowed in the inning, and that puts the tying run at second base for the Yanks. It's going to be Mickey Rivers and Roy White. 1 out. Velez at second base, Stanley at first. And Mick the Quick, left-handed batter, steps in the box. Frank Tanana looks at Echebarren for the sign. Here's a pitch, a 3-2. That's a potential strikeout, and that is a strikeout. So he blows one by Mickey Rivers for out number 2. And with 2 outs, it's Roy White batting from the right side. 2-1 is a range play on Roy White's card. This could be some good news for the Yankees. Let's see what happens here. 5-5 is line center field, and the center fielder who's out there, Leroy Stanton, I doubt that he's going to catch that, and he races in and bounces in front of him. So bounces in front of him, and that's going to be a single for Roy White. And now with Velez, let's look and see if Velez can score on this. I mean, it probably does score on this. So Velez is a 2. Let's see. So that's going to be a single to center, runner on second. So he's going to be a 2-3-5. 5, and let's see Leroy Stanton's arm. It's a 5 so far. Nothing on the arm, so we're going to roll 2d6. We'll read the blue first. And that's he scores, and the Yanks have tied the ball game here. And Fred Stanley, let's see if Fred Stanley makes it to third. Go to center, no, Fred Stanley's going to stay at second base. But it's an RBI single for Roy White. Stanley plays it safe at second. And it's Thurman Munson. All right, well, not going to. All right. So Thurman Munson steps in the box. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. It's 1-1, all tied up thanks to that single by Roy White, 2-out single that scored Otto Velez. Thurman Munson, the batter, the always dangerous Thurman Munson. Here's the pitch to Thurman. 2-5, and against a righty, that's a potential walk. And it is going to be a walk. Well, wait a second. No, it's not going to be a walk. Not against Munson. 3-2, and that's a ground ball, second base. Nice play by Remy, and he flips to the shortstop, Chalk, and that retires the side. So a 4-6. The Yanks pick up a run. They tie the ball game, so we go to top of the 6th. It's 1-1 here in the Bronx. Jerry Remy, the batter, against Rudy May. 6-4 is a potential strikeout, and I can't decide what that is. There it is. It's a 5. Potential strikeout against a lefty, and it will not be a strikeout. So we're looking off of Remy's card, a 3-4, and that's a fly ball right field. Over is Velez. Ron Jackson next. Ron Jackson is 0 for 2. That's a 4-2. That's a blank. We're looking off of Jackson's card now. And a 3-4 is a question mark 8 and a 7 against a lefty. And that's going to a little blooper, a little flare that drops in the gap. And in the between Roy White and the center fielder Mickey Rivers, and that's going to go for a double, a one-out double for Ron Jackson. All right, 1 on and 1 out. Jackson, the go-ahead run at second base, and it's Tommy Davis, right-handed batter, batted .265 and 238 at-bats with 3 home runs. So Tommy Davis held his own in 1976. .265 is really nothing to be ashamed of compared to considering what averages you see on the California team. Rudy May. Snake Eyes, that's a potential home run. He's a righty batter, so that's nowhere near a home run. So we're going to roll on Tommy Davis's card, a 5-3, and that's a ground ball hit hard at Nettles. And he's going to only on a 6. Let's see if we get a 6. And that's in the hole. Nettles down on a knee, gets up, throws across the diamond, and gets Davis. But that allows Jackson to make it to third. So 2 outs. Jackson at third base, and it's Bruce Bhakti. Bhakti is 1 for 2. He's single and scored a run. Here's the pitch. That's a 3-2. That's a blank. So we're looking off Bhakti. And that's a 2-6, and that's a fly ball left field. And in the gap is White. He's there. Makes the catch. That retires the side. Al, Red Sox fan. How you doing, brother? Chris Chambliss against Frank Tanana. Chambliss is 1 for 2. He's singled and struck out. We're in the bottom of the 6th, all tied at 1. California has 1 run, 5 hits, no errors. Yankees, 1 run, 5 hits, no errors. Here's a pitch to Chambliss. It's a 2-6, and against a lefty, it's a blank. So a 1-3, and that's a ground ball through the left side, and Chambliss is on with a single. Second hit for Chambliss in this game. Next is Lou Piniella. He's a right-handed batter. 6'5", and that's ballpark. So we go to the Yankee Stadium ballpark card. And a 5-2, and that's a hard-hit ground ball at third base. Let's see if they can pull a double play on this. We're going to look at a double play. It's a 2 there, a -1. So that's a 1. Infield is halfway. So a 2 or less will be a 5-4-3 double play. So let's roll that. We get a 6. So if there's only 1 play on that ground to the third, Jackson up with it, fires, and gets Piniella at first. Moving to second is Chambliss. Greg Nettles. Should be Greg Nettles. That was Piniella. Should have been Piniella. All right. Let's see. Piniella had a 2 double play. Didn't matter. It was a high number. All right. So 6-1, and that's a potential hit by pitch. He's a 4 plus 6. That's 10. And, oh, Nettles gets plunked. And Nettles not happy about that. Staring down at Tanana. And Tanana is responding in kind. And Billy Martin is not too happy. He's shouting something from the dugout. It doesn't take much to rile up Billy Martin. And you know Billy Martin's old school. He's going to stand up for his players. Otto Velez, runners on first and second here. Otto Velez grounded out and then walked. It's a right-handed batter. Batted .266 in our replays, batting .304. He's got 4 doubles, no home runs. 14 for 46 in our replay. Here's the pitch from Frank Tanana. That's a 3-3, and that's against a righty is a double star. And a 4, double star 4 is a ground ball third base again. This may be a double play. And Otto Velez is almost a guaranteed double play at 6, and it's a 5-4-3. And the Angels are out of the inning. So it goes from Jackson to Remy, back to Melton, round the horn. And the Yankees are retired. Otto Velez is almost a guaranteed double play with his numbers. Bill Melton leads off the top of the 7th. It's all tied at 1. Rudy May checks in for the sign. He sets, and that's a range play ballpark. Always a dangerous situation. Range plate, ballpark, a 2-1. So this is line center field, and Mick the Quick racing in and gets there. Great play. It's nice sliding catch by Mick the Quick in center field. 1 down. And next is Leroy Stanton. That's a 4-4, and that's a fatigued single. Not fatigued yet. 4-1, and that's line center field, and Mickey Rivers is there. Back-to-back putouts for Mickey Rivers in center, and it's Dave Chalk. The pitch from May, 2-1. Potential error. Let's see what happens on a 2-1 ground ball. Nettles, and that will be an error on Nettles. And it could be it could be a 2-base error, and it is. It gets by Chambliss, and a 2-base error here with 2 outs. And that error is charged to Craig Nettles at third base. Andy Etchebarren now with the go-ahead run at second base and 2 outs. Chalk takes his lead off second. Top of the 7th. This is the last batter for Rudy May until he becomes fatigued. Andy Etchebarren. And that's a 5-6, and that's a double question mark. A double question mark against a righty goes only to 14. We roll a 16. So this is off Etchebarren's card, a 6-6, and that's hit hard down the line and past Nettles. And this will potentially score. Let's see if this will score Dave Chalk. He's a 3. It's 2 outs. It's a 4. Let's see. By 2-4, and nope, it won't be. He's going to stop at third base. Holy smokes. Hard to score with those line shots past the third baseman. Even with 2 outs. Need a 5 to score there. Doesn't have it. So they're going to hold him up at third base. So it's going to be Bobby Bonds now, and we're going to bring in Dick Tidrow. We're going to bring in Dick Tidrow to face Bobby Bonds. That's all for Rudy May, unless we want to walk down. He's fatigued, so we don't want to. Let's just bring in Dick Tidrow to face Bobby Bonds here in the top of the 7th inning. All right, so Bonds is in there. Steps in the box against Dick Tidrow. Now, Tidrow is 377, has a 377 ERA, 28.2 thirds of an inning of innings pitched, 28 and 2/3. And let's see, he's got 15 strikeouts. He's got a 1-2 record with 1 save. Here he is in the top of the 7th with 2 outs. Runners on first and third. The game tied at 1, so there's a little pressure on Tidrow right here to retire Bobby Bonds. Let's see what happens. Pitch from Tidrow, 4-1. That's a range play. Range play, we need the Yankee defense, 5-2, and that's a hard-hit ground ball, and Nettles dives and up with it, fires across the diamond and gets Bonds. Great play by Greg Nettles. Holy smokes. Made up for that error, and that retires the side. So we're tied at 1 here in the bottom of the 7th. It's going to be Willie Randolph leading it off against Frank Tanana. Tanana can go 34, so he still has a ways to go. That's a 3-4, and that's a potential home run. And against a right-handed batter, it's going to be, we're going to roll against, but a lefty, he's got nothing, so we're going to roll off his card. And a 5-2, and that's a hard-hit ground ball down the line and past Jackson. So Randolph. And he's going to try to get a lead, and he does. So now we're rolling for a stolen base, and there he goes, and that is a 2. But Tanana is what? Safe at second base. Etchebarren with the throw on target, but Great slide by Randolph and kind of hooks around the tag, and he is safe at second with a stolen base. So the Yankees have a runner at second, nobody out. Single and stolen base by Willie Randolph. What a pickup from the Pittsburgh Pirates for Doc Medich. And now it's going to be Fred Stanley, Chicken Stanley. And Chicken Stanley is a bunter, so we're going to try to bunt on there. He squares, and it's a good bunt. 15, I hope it's a good bunt. He's a 5, 1 to 16. We're going to roll to see who it's to, and it's to the catcher in front of the mound, in front of the home plate, and out comes Echeverren. There's only one play. And moving to third with only one out now is Willie Randolph. And that's going to be an assist for the catcher, Echeverren, and a put out for the second baseman, Jerry Remy, covering first. Bill Melton was charging on that play, as was the third baseman. We had the wheel play going on, and Chalk was racing Randolph to third base. Echeverren looked that way, but then he thought twice, and he decided to go for the sure out. So there's one out. Randolph is on at third. This is going to force the Angels to bring the infield in here. Mickey Rivers is at the plate against Frank Tanana. So Tanana looks in for the sign, sets and deals. Say 4-2, and that's against a lefty. That's going to be a blank. So we're looking off Rivers' card, and that is a hard hit ground ball, but right at Remy. And with one out, this is our home rule that he's going to try to score. So we're going to get a throw. We're going to get a throw. Randolph, I believe, he's a 3. I wish he was a 4. There's only one out. He's a 3, so that's going to bring him down. -2, that's a 1. So on a 1, he scores. Otherwise, he's out at the plate. Great throw by the second baseman, Remy, to nail Randolph with the go-ahead run at home. Great play at the plate. Holy smokes. Mickey Rivers is on at first with a fielder's choice. And Randolph is out at home. So Rivers is going to try to get a lead, and 18 is not going to do it. Roy White, the batter. Pitch from Tanana. 6-5, and that's a ballpark result. A 1-4, and that's a blank. That's a rare play with the bases, with a runner on base. And we're going to roll here, see what happens. Sometimes it could be an error. 6-4. 3-2 pitch called balk. Pitcher argues and is thrown out of the game. So that's a balk. Rivers to second base. And that's a play that's hard for me to find, the balk. Let's see. Using ball or strikeout, balk. I'm using iScore. No, not iScore. Ball score. And balk is something that barely ever comes up. Edit player, title, inning. This is going to slow down. Oh, man, I hate this. All right. Inning, roster. Where would this be? The balk. Something that happens so seldom. Let's see if we can batter reach first. Let's assign error. Place runner at third, but it doesn't allow me to say how. Reached. Oh wait, batter was put out. Advanced runners without. Okay, wait oh no, can't do that. Hold on. I think I may have it here. I think I figured it out. Okay. Let's see. So it says he's on at third already. Batter, advanced batters without batter. Okay, advanced without batter. I found it. Okay, balk. This cell has already been scored. Be sure to cursor this. Let's see. Okay, so he moved to third on the balk. Let's check the Let me try one other way real quick here. Advanced runner without batter involvement. Balk. Let's see. I see. Stays at third. No. Okay, I see what I got to do. I figured out what I got to do. All right, I got to go undo the first move that I made. Undo. I got to undo the other thing that I did, and I don't know how to undo that. Let's see. Let's undo the fielder's fielder. Let's undo the fielder's choice. Okay. Let's undo the fielder's choice. Let's go back to the 4-2. I'm almost done. I figured it out. 4-2. So Randolph is thrown out at home. And that's going to put Mickey Rivers at first. Right, Mickey Rivers at first. Now, how does and then it's Roy White. It's a ballpark. Let's see, 6'4". No, it was okay. All right, it was a rare play. I believe it was that's 6'4" there. I don't know. I may have misread the whole thing. I looked at a blank. I think it's a 6'4". I think it's a ground ball second base, actually, based on what I have there. And I don't think I rolled anything. Oh, wait, I did. That's my second roll. That's my second roll. Okay. So let me trust mine. So 6'4". Oh, wait a second. It's not a balk. It's a ball. Oh, my God. All right. Pitcher argues, and he's thrown out of the game. So we're going to bring in a new pitcher. Wow, all that for naught. And against a Roy White, we're going to bring in Sid Manji. Well, then we have a righty next. So let's do Drago. So Tanana doesn't like the call, gets into an argument, is ejected from the game. We're bringing in a new pitcher. It's going to be Dick Drago. And he's going to pitch to Roy White. Count of 1-0 now. And Mickey Rivers on it first. Here's the pitch to White. That's a 4-4. And that's going to be he's batting lefty, so it's a potential strikeout against a righty. It won't be a strikeout, so we're rolling off White's card, a 1-3, and that's a ground ball and through into the right field. Mickey Rivers is going to make it easily to third base. So 2 outs, first and third, and it's Thurman Munson. So this is the guy you want up. This is 1976 MVP Thurman Munson, a.k.a. the Walrus, a.k.a. the Captain. Fan favorite in New York and a favorite teammate of all the players in the Yankees. The guy was a class act, definitely a class act in the clubhouse and on the field. He was tough, a leader for sure. Thurman Munson steps into the box. Now, Thurman Munson is batting .343. He's got 11 doubles, 6 home runs. He's driven in 38 RBIs here and almost 200 at-bats. So he's headed for basically an MVP season for sure. Here's the pitch. It's a 2-3, and that's going to be a potential walk. And against a righty, we're looking at a 6-2 in Yankee Stadium, and it's ball 4. So he was real careful with Munson. Walks him. Rather pitch to Chambliss, and we're going to make a change here. Although we shouldn't. We shouldn't make a change because of the issue with extra innings. It's still early in the game, extra innings. And plus we have a righty coming up next. So let's do that. Let's not make a change because I run the risk of running out of pitchers. It's not the first time it happened to me. I make too many changes. Back in 76, you had 2 or 3 relief pitchers. And if you make too many early changes, you're stuck, especially in a game like that's 1-1 right now. If this is an 8-1 game, sure, it doesn't matter what you do with the relief pitchers, but now you better be careful. So it's Chris Chambliss. Chris Chambliss has 2 hits. Bases are loaded. So this is a big opportunity to break this game open here for Chris Chambliss. Chris Chambliss batted .293, but in our replay, he's not doing as well. He's batting .255. Got 11 doubles through 4 triples and 3 home runs. Has driven in 31 in 200 at bats. Here's the pitch from Drago. That's a 6-2, and that's a ballpark. So this may work in the Yankees' favor. Let's see what happens. And a 4-5, and that's going to be line center field. And on the run is Leroy Stanton, and makes a grab. What a great catch by Leroy Stanton. Holy smokes. Reached out at the last minute. I thought that was a gapper for sure. And that's the third out. So Chris Chambliss gives it a ride, hits it on the screws, but somehow, some way, Leroy Stanton in center field is able to run it down. Jerry Remy against Dick Tidrow. That's a 4-3, and that's a potential K, and it is strike 3. High heat gets Remy. Ron Jackson next. Ron Jackson is 1 for 3 with a double. And that's a 4-5. That's a potential walk against a righty. And that is ball 4. So 3-1 pitch outside. So Jackson walks. He's on at first. Tommy Davis. 4-3. That's a potential K. A 17. It won't be a K. So we're looking off Davis's card. A 4-6. And that is a star line. Ground ball to Chicken Stanley. Chicken Stanley's going to try for 2 perhaps. Let's see. We're looking at a 4. We're looking at a 5. We're looking at a 6. And that's a 6-4-3. Stanley to Randolph to Chambliss. Double play. And the Yanks are out of the inning. Defense, big defensive plays for the Yanks are what makes the difference in a lot of these games. Inside pitch, range and defense make a huge difference. So if you're one of the top teams, you're probably going to have a good defense because that's going to get you out a lot of tough innings. So that plays a critical aspect of this game. Comes into play almost every other inning. Without being intrusive, without being where you're getting thrown off, you're doing checks, everything is pretty much off the cards. And you got to get. I'll be honest with you, if you don't play this game for a few days and you play other games, all of a sudden you get to this game and I feel myself, I'm real clunky. I'm not running smooth. My brain is not in line with the designer's thinking. But after you get into it, then a few games, then you get warmed up. So you really need those few games to get warmed up and to really get into it. So it's Lou Piniella leading it off here against Dick Drago in the bottom half of the 8th inning at Yankee Stadium. The score is tied at 1, so this is a heck of a game. So if you're tuning in, you're really being presented with a close and exciting game here. Lou Piniella, Greg Nettles, and Otto Velez. Dick Drago was 7-8 with a 4.42 ERA. Here's the pitch. And that's a 2-3, and that's a potential walk. Potential walk against a righty won't be a walk. We're rolling off of Lou Piniella's card. And that's a 5-6, and that's line base hit right field. Piniella goes the other way, and playing it on a hop is a right fielder Bond. So Piniella's on with a single, leadoff single. And now it's Greg Nettles. Here's the pitch from Drago, 2-4, and that's a double star line. So that's a star line, double star. And we're going to roll the green die. That's a fly ball deep right field. Back goes Bonds to the track and makes the catch. Nettles gave it a ride, but just didn't have enough carry. 1 on, 1 out. Otto Velez. And we're going to pull Velez, and we're going to pinch hit with Gamble. Oscar Gamble's coming in for Otto Velez. Pinch hitter Gamble for Velez. All right. 1 on, 1 out. Oscar Gamble. Pitch from Drago. 1-4, and that's going to be a star line out against lefty. Holy smokes. Just when it's a 4, that's a ground ball shortstop. And he's a 1. He's a nothing. Halfway is a 2. We need a 2 or less for a double play. And no, it's not. So it was a star line 6-4, fielder's choice. So 1 on and 2 out now. That's Willie Randolph. Dick Drago. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Drago can still go a couple more. Here's the pitch from Drago. 6-2, and that's ballpark. Ballpark card. Let's see what happens. 5-5 is a ground ball shortstop. Chalk up with it. Cross the diamond, throws out Randolph, and that retires the side. 6-3. You're scoring at home. We go to the top of the, yes, there was a pinch hitter, and Gamble is going to stay in, and he's going to play right field. So we're going to pop him into right field. He's in there now. All right, so it's Dick Tidrow. He's faced only 4 batters against Bruce Bhakti. The pitch from Tidrow, 4-1. This is the top of the 9th. That's going to be a range play. Yankees, again, have pretty good defense, a 3-5, and that is a fly ball right field. And right there is Gamble. Nice play by Gamble. Got a good jump on that ball right off the bat. So that's an F9. Bill Melton's next. 1-5, and that's a potential strikeout. And it is. High heat gets Melton. Strike 3. Melton down swinging back to the bench. Leroy Stanton. 1-2, that's a blank. Stanton, a 5-3, and that's a ground ball and through the infield for a base hit. So Stanton's on with a single. Stanton has a 3 attempt, but we roll a 20. That's a potential pickoff. A 1-2 is a picked off, and he is not. So Stanton's on at first. There's 2 outs, and it's Dave Chalk as the batter. It's a 6-3, and that's a range play. Range play off Chalk's card. That's a foul ball. Range play off Chalk's card, and that's a 1-3, and that's a line center field, and Mickey Rivers racing in and gets there. Great play by Mickey Rivers. And that retires the side. Fred Stanley leading it off here in the bottom of the 9th. It's 1-1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Drago has 1 more batter, and then we're going to get a bunch of lefties, so we'll bring in the lefty. It's going to be 3-3, and that's against a righty. It's a blank, so we're looking off of Stanley's card. A 4-5, and that's fly ball center field. Right there is Leroy Stanton. 1 down. And that's going to be it. We're going to bring in a new pitcher. It's going to be Sid Manji. So Manji's coming in. Replays are pretty easy with the American League teams. They get a little bit hairy when you're replaying with the National League teams, especially if you're doing modern National League teams. Holy smokes. Got to make a lot of changes. Mickey Rivers. Bobby Bonds up. Oh, no, wait. Excuse me. Mickey Rivers up. Lost my place here. Against Sid Manji, the lefty. So that's a 6-3, and against the lefty, that's a potential strikeout. A 3, and it is strike 3. So blows a fastball by Mickey Rivers. Nothing but air. That's a 3-5, and that's a blank. Roy White at the plate, a 3-1, and that is a potential caught by center fielder Leroy Stanton. So he drives it, and back goes Stanton and makes a nice running catch. 3 up, 3 down. Go to top of the 10th. We're in extra innings. Some free baseball, folks. So Dick Tidrow has gone more than his, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to have to bring in a new pitcher. Let's see who they used. Yankees were using whom? Blah, 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 blah. Rudy May won actually the whole game in this game. Let's see the next game, who the Yankees use. They go to Texas. Well, they stay in New York, but they face Texas next. Tippy Martinez is going to come in. He's going to get a couple innings of play of pitching in. So Tippy Martinez comes in and replaces Dick Tidrow. New pitcher Martinez. I believe this is probably the last week Martinez plays with the Yankees. I think he's traded to Baltimore. He has a Baltimore card. You got to pull him. You get all the cards with inside pitch. And it's Andy Etchebarren. Here's the pitch from Martinez. So 1-3, that's a potential K, and a 5 against a lefty is strike 3. Andy Etchebarren. Down on strikes. 1 out. Nobody on. Bobby Bonds. 5-3. That's a double question mark against a righty. Nope, not going to do it. We're rolling off Bonds, a 1-5, and that's a ground ball hit hard at Nettles. Nettles backhands it, long throw to first, and in time. Great play by Greg Nettles. Very good fielder, although he's been making errors lately. It's a 6-1. That's a potential home run. It's not what we want to see. He's a lefty. 1-9, we roll a 6. So we're going to look, and Jerry Remy's got no home run potential, so we're just rolling off his card, a 4-1, and that's a star line ground ball, second base. Randolph in the hole, throw off balance throw, and gets Remy to retire the side. So it's the bottom of the 10th inning. It's all tied at 1. Munson, Chambliss, and Piniella. Sid Manji, 6-7 with a 3.37 ERA. The lines are Angels 1 run, 7 hits, no errors. Yankees 1 run, 9 hits, 1 error. Most of the crowd's still here. The pitch from Manji. Let's say potential walk, and a 1 is ball 4. So Munson, double check that. Munson, who doesn't walk very much, gets the first base on ball 4. Chris Chambliss. Say 6-5. That's a potential strikeout, and a 5 against a lefty is strike 3. Chambliss downswing. Next is Lou Piniella. And a 6-4 is a walk. A 7 against a lefty is no. We're rolling off Pinella's card, and a 6-1. It's a star line 3. That's a fly ball center field in the gap. And Leroy Stanton is there. Makes the catch. Oh, something happened. Hold on. So 2 out, runner on first. And it's Greg Nettles. Pitch from Manji. 2-6, and that's a potential strikeout. An 11 versus, nope, it's not going to be. So we're looking off Nettles' card, a 5-6, and that's a question mark center field. That's a drive to center field, and that ball is going to drop in there, and that's going to be a double. We're going to try to score Munson. Try to score Munson on that, and we're going to roll 2d6 right here, and he scores. RBI, game over, walk-off. Greg Nettles with the double. Drives home Thurman Munson with 2 outs off Sid Manji. Got a hold of one, and looked like for a second there that Leroy Stanton was going to catch up to it. But no, it dropped in, and that was enough to get Thurman Munson, who was running on contact with 2 outs. And we're going to double check that. Let's watch the replay on this play. So that's a drive to center field. And that's going to be a +1. Munson's a 4. That's a 5. There's 2 outs. That's a 6. There's no arm effect because Leroy Stanton has a 0. And that's going to be an RBI, game-winning RBI for Greg Nettles after going 0 for 3. He ends the game 1 for 4, but he basically had the biggest hit of the game. And scoring all the way from first was Thurman Munson. And that was a 5-6. And then we rolled a, let's see, question mark 8 against a lefty. And that's a double, 4-12. Double 4-12 versus a left-hander. So what a great game that was. The Yankees win it 2-1. It's a much better game than if the Yankees would have lost it 2-1. So I'm super happy there. And I'll give you a little bit of the recap of what went on here. The win is going to go to Martinez. The loss is going to go to Manji. This game was played on the 10th of June, Thursday, the 10th of June. So the crowd is excited. They want Nettles to come out of the dugout. And Nettles waves his cap. a fan favorite here in the Bronx. The Yankees win it in 10 innings, 2-1. Angels had 1 run, 7 hits, no errors. The Yanks 2 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. So it was a pitcher's duel throughout, pretty much. Let me take a quick peek at the box score. Martinez is going to improve his record to 4-1 with a 1.84 ERA. Manji goes 0-1 against the Yankees because that's all the results I have. Yanks, in terms of offense, you have 3 players with 2 hits. It was Roy White, 2 hits. Chambliss had 2 hits, and Lou Piniella had 2 more hits. What else can I say? Roy White had an RBI. It was Roy White's 28th RBI. Yep. And Nettles had his 20th. Randolph had his 6th stolen base of the year. And that's all for today's stream of Inside Pitch Baseball. Going to play a bunch more games to get nice and quick and smooth, so it's not as clunky. Hey there, Stephen Conrad. How you doing, my brother? Walk off. ID Jester. He's safe. Good call. Fun game. Thank you, Al, Red Sox fan. And that's it for the game. Let me just tell you a couple of things. What did I want to say? Now, I'm going to play 3 more today. Not all going to be streamed. I don't know if I'll stream anymore. I may stream 1 more. We'll see what happens, see how I feel. If I have the energy, if I get into the flow of it. This one was a little clunky. Usually my first game when I'm half asleep and I wake up is kind of clunky. It's going to be the Texas Rangers coming into the Bronx, wearing their gallon hats and their big belt buckles and their cowboy boots. Texas Rangers with Gene Clines and Lenny Randle, Mike Hargrove, the human rain delay, Toby Harrah, Jeff Burrows, Roy Howell, Tom Grieve, Juan Beniquez, Jim Sundberg. It's going to be Bert Blyleven facing off against Ed Figueroa. That's going to be a nice pitching matchup there for the Yanks and for the Rangers as well. So that I expect that to be a pretty good game. That's on Friday. We're almost 1/3 of the way through this season replay, and this is the last season replay that I'll be doing with Ball Score. From now on, I'm moving all my replays to Replay Baseball computer game, and they will sim all the teams and all the data, so I can have pennant races and so on and so forth. I know that Stratomatic has a computer game that can do the same thing, and I know that a couple of us use that. I have that system, but I only have 1 season, the 2018 season, and I'm not really totally familiar with it. So Replay works for me right now. So I'm going to use Replay Baseball from this point on. I'm not going to be using iScore for any more replays. It doesn't sim the other teams. It's real clunky. I really like the fact that you get a scorebook. That's really cool. You don't get that in Replay that I know. But everything, all the other bells and whistles are there for Replay Baseball on their sim game. Now, if you want to look at their computer game, you can download it for free. Download it for free, and you get to play 20% of the Nat King Curry. Welcome, sir. Nice to see you. You can download the computer game from Replay Baseball for free, and you get to play 20% of the 2014 season. So that way it'll give you all the time in the world. And that's a lot, that's a bunch of games. Like it's 20% is what, 35 games maybe? I'm not Mr. A mathematician, but it's about somewhere around 30, 35 games, I guess, just off the top of my head. So you can do that and check out Replay Baseball's computer game, because what I'm going to do with all my future replays is just replay the one team that I want to play. And if I ever want to play a different team and input the stats, I could pick it out. It keeps track of everything for you. It has actual lineups. It has actual pitching matchups. It's all done for you. I don't have to use Baseball Reference to look for stuff. Okay, it's pretty much all there for you. All I have to do is kind of roll the dice and manage my team, and it keeps track of all the standings and all the leaders, and it keeps track of everything, and it gives me a gorgeous box score. And it's a real modern interface. It's not clunky like this game. I mean, this is great. This is free. What am I going to say? The other one costs you $50, and then the seasons after you pay $50, you get one free season. After that, the seasons are $25, right? So you got to save up a little bit. All right. So I think I got both teams, and now I'm gonna. So yeah, I wish I was starting this fresh. I was starting this replay fresh. I'm already 50 games into it, so I'm definitely not going to back out right now. I want to get the stats for this. I want to get the stats and take a look at the stats and have that. So I got about 110 more games to go here. I'm going to play 3 more today. And I expect to finish this by mid-summer, hopefully. Who knows? Maybe sooner. It depends. If you can get 3 games, I definitely can't do 3 games a day. But I can do 1 game a day for sure. And on weekends, maybe I can do 3 games a day for sure. And sometimes more. Who knows? So, yep. So I'm pulling right now. I'm pulling the California Angels, putting them away. So this is pretty much you're watching how I set up my games, and I like to share stuff like that so we can compare and contrast on how we do stuff and how other guys do it, and we can learn from each other. It's going to be the Texas Rangers coming into town. It's going to be Bert Blyleven. Now I have to pull Bert Blyleven from Minnesota, I believe. I played them once before. I believe I pulled Bert Blyleven from Minnesota, or does Bert Blyleven go to Minnesota before June 15th? I can't remember which one it is, but I know that Bert Blyleven has something to do with Roy Smalley. So Roy Smalley's here from Minnesota. He ends the season with Minnesota, so he starts the season with Texas, right? So Bert Blyleven, I don't know if he's still with I think both Bert Blyleven. Let me see. Let's check. You guys probably know all this. Yeah, there you go. Stephen Conrad using Rombo's quick play guide for the replay games I don't play. But does that do all the stats for you? That's the question. Let me look at the Minnesota Twins. I like to have the stats because then I can kind of compare and contrast to how my guys are going and compared to the rest of the league. All right. So Bert Blyleven, I believe, gets traded to the Minnesota Twins. He's probably sitting in Minnesota right here in the Minnesota pile. Yeah, he is. Okay. Oh no. All right. Yes. I see what happens. Okay, so it looks like Roy Smalley's gone. The trade, has been completed, I believe. So Roy Smalley goes to Minnesota, and Bert Blyleven is on Texas now. So there may be still a couple more players in this trade that I'm not aware of, but I'm not going to worry about that unless their name comes up and I need them. Then I'll kind of look into the set. So let's get this down. Let's see. Load roster, Texas. And then it's going to be June 11th. June 11th is Bert Blyleven. And then it's going to be the Yankees. I'm picking the roster in the lineup. Yankee roster. And the lineup is going to be, again, June 11th. And that's going to be Ed Figueroa. Excuse me. All right. So we have, we have Gene Kleins. Let's see, Gene Kleins. He leads it off. I don't know where we have to find him. Where is he? Gene Klein. There he is. Okay, so Gene Klein leads it off. It's going to be Kleins, Randall, Hargrove, Toby Harrah. Toby Harrah was a Yankee for a couple of days in, I think, '84 or something like that. Burroughs is after that. Let's see, Jeff Burroughs, Roy Howell. Not a lot of change in these lineups. That's the nice thing about it. Tom Grieve, it's Juan Beniquez, and I saw him a second ago somewhere. Juan Beniquez, Jim Sundberg, and that's it. So they're ready. And they're going to be facing Eduardo Figueroa from Puerto Rico. Eduardo Figueroa going to be facing Blyleven. There he is. And the Yanks going to probably have their lefty lineup. And that includes, it's almost the same lineup every single day. I mean, there's not a lot of thinking. Carlos May instead of Lou Piniella. Carlos May is picked up from the White Sox, and he's doing pretty well. I mean, he's holding his own. These cards will take a beating, though. Yankees, I'm using the Yankees almost every day. So it's May, Nettles, Gamble. This is their lefty crew. It's going to be Randolph, and then it's going to be Mason. Mason plays against righties. He's part of the left-handed hitting crew. So he's going to come in. Chicken Stanley plays against the lefties, which there aren't many. So mostly it's Jim Mason playing a lot of these games. All right, that's it. So the next game is set up. And I showed you how quickly it is to do that when you play these older seasons. So now I have a couple of cards here that I'm going to get some defensive cards that are going to help me keep track of different information. Cleveland, Detroit, Chicago, Baltimore, San Diego, Boston, Cincinnati, Chicago, Atlanta, Los Angeles. Don't have Texas. I don't know why I don't have Texas. I wonder what I did with that. Gotta find Texas. Oh, here it is. Okay. That's what I wanted. Let's see. Texas is right there. Let me put California away. So we got the West Coast teams coming to the East Coast to play the Yankees in this homestand. And that's it. So this is CP Cards and Dice. And just reminding you that this is your home for tutorials and strategy and player profiles, history, reviews, news, tips, tops, baseball cards, rants, unboxings, and so much more. Thanks for following my 1976 Yankees replay using Inside Pitch and my 1969 replay using Payoff Pitch. The 69 replay is the one I use Replay Baseball with. So that's all she wrote. And this is CP Cards and Dice saying keep rolling, guys, and I will talk to you later. Let me just double check, make sure there are no questions there. I like simming the record so I can do a playoff. Yes, that sounds good, Steven. That sounds good. Simming the record, that's good too. Blyleven got traded from Mike Covage, Roy Smalley, and Bill Singer. Hold on, let me use that information. So those guys are probably on the other team. Yeah, those guys are on the other team, I'm pretty sure. I don't have them here. I only brought the guys over that I used in the last time we played. I played Texas once before in Texas. Yeah. So thank you for that information. So Blyleven was basically the big name star, I guess, in that trade. But Roy Smalley went on to have a pretty decent career and hold his own. Mike Covage wasn't all that bad. He played. He was a starter for a while as well. Hey, Forever just said hello. So welcome, Forever. But we're on our way out pretty much. I did an unboxing video yesterday. So if you guys want to check that out, I unboxed 1970s baseball cards. I unboxed a couple of books that are fascinating. And I unboxed some APA custom envelopes. That was a blast as well. So you may want to check that out. Smalley was good for the Yankees in the early 80s. Yeah, he played with the Yankees in the early 80s as well. He had a decent career. From what I remember, I mean, I'm just speaking off anecdotally off the top of my head. But this is going to be a 3-game set. It's going to be Ed Figueroa against Bert Blyleven in game 1 here. The next set I'm going to play off camera. And then on the Saturday game, it's going to be Nelson Bryles versus Dave Pagan. Dave Pagan is going to move to the Orioles, so this is probably his last start with the Yankees. Game 3 is going to be Jim Umbarger for Texas against Catfish Hunter. So I may stream that game. So I got to get there. So I'm going to take off right now because I got to get to the gym. So this is CP Cards and Dice. Thanking everybody for stopping by. It's always great to see you guys. And thanks for saying hello. And I will see you soon with another stream. Take care now.